Well, hello everyone. Manny Make 25 here, and you see right here is I went ahead and talked right here is top I see of extensions, and it basically was like for extensions is basically to where like if anybody were to wonder to where that like yeah that I went ahead and do right here put together right here is like a few pieces of the calendar right here, and if I were to like select a one day or so out of a month right here with these pieces, and then you have right here the eye dropping tool and just kind of you do like a different colors like right there is like with the blue, like make that a little bit lighter, and basically that I went and put together right here is like a calendar. I'm sure if anybody were to wonder about like if you would actually look at an actual calendar like for February, as you see right here, I went ahead and was working on this and put right here for 4 days, and then right here will be about see 5 6 days right here, and this one right here about, and then this one here will be about 7 days, and then along right here for 5 more days. So the way I want to put this together, of course, was I went ahead and you'll use right here is like an artboard only measured at about 5 by 11 I think was the measurement, and thinking necessarily to where that you think that I'm like yeah a few boxes right here to where you're trying to put the days or weeks or so, like there would be about 2 or 3 total weeks, say out of the month of February, but usually about 28 days, something like that. And thinking about, I'm like, yeah, that for how busy that we do get, if we would actually put the puzzle pieces together to where from the first of the month, you have right here is for the from February 1st to February the 4th, that you were trying to work something, and then if it's either postponed or delayed or canceled or anything like that, any plans more likely that we may think of. And the way I think about it, though is like, what do you call that to where that yeah to where that if you were to be working on something, and then all of a sudden it's like that you may have had to cancel or postpone or try to ask for an extension. And basically that like for extension is that for anybody that like say that I'm like yeah that there's basically to where if anybody wonders to where when it do extensions usually get granted is that if anywhere say well we'll give you more time to get something done and necessarily than thinking about, I'm like really that if it's for school purposes, we're more likely that unless it's something urgent or if it's anything about yeah, it's with the weather conditions that you cannot finish your science project, whichever it was. But you have right here a top I see for February, and I went and use this month calendar by the way, just because it's like for 28 days altogether. Really, about 28 days seems like it's enough time. 30 days seems like it's enough time to get such and such done, but if we only think about is to where that yeah that the what day or time out of a month to where maybe if we would be able to buy more time. And you have right here is the red right here. I went marked right here with the red, and like red basically means to where time to where if we think that yeah we'll run out of time, and then the blue could more likely mean that yeah things start wrapping up. You're able to get things done this week, but then the next week is like from the 11th to like the 15th or so, at 16, 17, 18, 19, I guess it would be by the 17th. So you have these different days right here out of the month, and usually that right around Valentine's Day or somewhere right there, to where that you're trying to work a number of things. So it's like thinking that I'm like yeah that from this day right here, guy right here is like I got that blue, but then that turned to darker, such as oh wait a minute, something came up, so you're going to have to extend that time to where that yeah that there's only this many days left if it's going to be class or if it's going to be a project or anything like that. So I can show everybody here as to where that you have right here these 2 extra, say 5 extra days right here, and thinking necessarily to where I'm like yeah, when to put those there, and like warn to where that with these extra days here that I went and put right here, and like warning that like you add up about 5 more extra days onto the calendar from whenever we started, and thinking about yeah for the amount of work that comes to between these weeks right here to where this week right here is at you were planning on doing something. Let's see here, go ahead and make that a little bit lighter. See, like this week that I'll go ahead and use white right here is like if you had stuff going on between these days right here, and then this week right here, that out of those 2 days that I can go ahead and add right there is like a blue, a little bit lighter blue, such as like, yeah, it's like you got stuff that you were planning on doing between those days right there, and then this right here. Go ahead and put that right there for blue right there. So I'm thinking that one's right here for red, and basically that I'm like if I say that, yeah, the deadlines would be at about right here. So if we want to go ahead and say like, yeah, well the deadline's right there. Go ahead and make that like red, but let's just say that if these were right here were like extensions right here, and like one to where how often more likely would be able to order more time, and basically is to where if some of these right here, these boxes right here, right around the time of the deadline before extension is granted, and like one to where I might give you more time to get more things done. A lot of times we wonder to where how can that basically be worked out to where that yep, you're running out of time, on these days right here. And it's like, see here, go ahead and work right here. It's a little darker. So yeah, it's, anybody like wondering that? I'm like, yeah, that, darker, more likely say, I can go ahead and say that, what the darker basically means to where that you're running out of time, you got, there's more stuff that needs to be done, and you can't get it all done, that type of stuff. But let's just say that, with, for the month of February, is to where, that maybe how much work that's willing to put into something, such as if we would actually do the math and put the puzzle pieces together to where if I can use right here as math to where if I were to have these in groups to where thinking that you have right here is at 4 days the full week, and then think I did this would right here would only be about 6 days right here. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So altogether about 10 days right here. With 10 days altogether right here, how much that is willing to be worked within these 10 days. And possibly that maybe extension could be granted for 4 more days or 5 more days, possibly if how much that was done within these 10 days. So if we were thinking about it, it's like doing the actual counting and then the managing it is to where it's like how many days it is, and thinking necessarily to where that, yeah, for like quit wasting time, the amount of time it's wasted to where that you have right here. Go ahead and put this right here like for white. I'll go ahead and use like a light green right here as an example. Light green, or I don't know. Anybody say maybe a yellow or something like that. Go ahead and maybe use a yellow. But anyway, one of those days that marks to where that then not too much that got done between these weeks right here. But then next week, oh yeah, there's a lot of things that were going on between these days right here. Maybe for around Valentine's Day, maybe for some event or something like that, and then after this weekend, and oh yeah, there were some things that were getting done around that time too, and then you have right here with this full week right here, like, oh wait, there were some things that got done, but then some things that were postponed or delayed, these extensions, more time just to get something done. So a lot of times I'm thinking about, I'm like, really, do people get really aggravated whenever, yeah, the deadline, especially like the taxes, and if you're trying to get your taxes done, and like, well, we need more time. Like, well, there ain't, when the deadline is, just to get it done. But the way I think about it, though, is that if we would actually look at the calendar and knowing about really to where between the hours of like midnight and 1 a.m. or something like that, usually to where they may give you maybe an hour or two longer to get something done, maybe a day, or they may extend that amount of time to about maybe 3 more weeks, depending on how much they was able to get done within this week right here. To where I'll go ahead and mark right here like green as in green as in for like goes to where that that how many it's like how much that was worked within this week right here, and then right here go ahead and move this right here to green right here is to where the these days right here like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so about 8 days along with 10 days. So thinking necessarily to where if you work right here for like 10 days straight to where a number of things for how much something that did get done, and more likely that if I say maybe extension will more likely be be worked out to where give you more time to get the rest of it done. But the way I think about those, yep, teamwork. But other than that, thanks for watching.